Howdy y'all, I'm Kev. Welcome back to whatever it is that we do here. Today I want to help you transform your relationship with yourself in regards to gestalt. That's what we're going to talk about. Beautiful word. I learned about it in design. I've been having conversations with it with my partner who's in psychosomatic therapy school. But gestalt is this. I'll illustrate it for you. I'm going to have to get straight to the camera so I can do this in the best possible way so that it's accurate. Gestalt goes a little something like this. We have certain predetermined projections of how to complete our relationships to certain things. And as it relates to design, say, it can be a really powerful tool to make inferences and really powerful yet super refined expressions. And this is a simple example. Is I can make these three marks and we can kind of imply the presence of the fourth corner. That's like the same color. We can kind of imply the presence of the fourth corner of the box. But I think that there's actually a problem with this way that we learn to relate to life and to circumstance. Gestalt, as it relates to things like therapy and stuff, I'm discovering are extremely powerful. But the mechanism in which we relate to naturally filling in circumstance with, I would say the kind of mechanism is all of our shoulds plus should nots. Excuse my handwriting. The problem is this. So I'll actually put this back up there, different color, forgive me. If I'm relating to my life as these three corners and I'm inferring that this is actually present, even though it's not, it might be a projection, and I'm coloring my life, what I'm actually doing is I'm really limiting the picture, for lack of a better term, because I'm unconsciously calling it quits and believing that this is the shape that my life needs to be. That's a good thing to write down. The shape of life. I'm assuming that this is the shape of my life. So I'm coloring it in as if it is that. Nothing wrong with that. But what I'm trying to allude to is if we remove the should that created that corner in the first place. So if we remove the should that created the boundary, how then differently could we paint this picture? We might still subscribe to some of those illusory boundaries for some time, but then we discover, oh wow, like look it, I have all of this space to explore in life. All along, I had been acting as if that was a concrete boundary. You see where we're getting to? This was a concrete boundary, when in reality, it was something that I created and imposed upon myself. This is a way that we impose, through the shoulds and should nots, those very in vogue, juicy things like limiting beliefs, all those stories of avoidance, and all the juicy things that kind of come from those sets of things. When we allow ourselves to deconstruct why do I believe that that's there? Oh, so we got to go back because I should act this way, that way. I should or I shouldn't. So therefore I need to bound myself and make myself more small. I'm not saying that there isn't power in containment. Containment can be really powerful and it's a necessary tool. Why things like certain coaching containers and things like that have that language built into it. Because there is a power of having a container where now energy doesn't necessarily just dissipate unbounded through like the top of this. So energy can kind of bounce off each kind of side and get really activated in there, and pure potential can be really realized. I get it. That's one thing. But in the sense of how we start to project into the future and project our boundaries onto our lives, oh, like this needs to be here because I've always been someone who's struggled with finding love, or I've always been someone who's struggled with sustainably making that amount of money, whatever that struggle might be. We project this boundary to be real, even though the imposition of it comes from probably a very few set of stories regarding what you should do and what you should not do, and how you believe that, creating that story. So we need to ask why. Why is that boundary there? Is it true? That's the powerful question that we can ask. Is it true? Who's to say that I should put that there? Who's to say that I do have to live life in this way? Who's to say that I have to subscribe to this limitation that I place on myself other than me? And yes, as much as it might have come from the outside, at some point, we are the ones that continue to emanate it from the inside out throughout our lives. So this is a simple way of explaining it, limiting belief, stories of avoidance. But when we learn that we've been projecting this boundary on our life from a limiting belief, from a belief of I should do this and should not, we're severing off pure potential, which lives just beyond who you think you are. So if this is current identity, which only had 3 corners, just to remind you, this is your updated identity. Talking really rigid. I'm sorry. This is your updated identity where we can entertain pure potential. So that's like a quick diagram to help you understand where in your life you might be imposing a constraint that's not real. We all do this. So I'd actually say this is to help you identify where you are doing it. Not where it might be. Like, it's there. There's a spot in your life that has that corner that shouldn't be there. Not that your life's a square. It can be any shape you want or no shape at all. So yeah, if this helped you, please let me know. Comment the shape of your life. What shape you most resonate with to describe your life. I do kind of like triangles or something about them. But yeah, if this was helpful, I'd love to know why. So yeah, thank you all for coming. Ciao!